Hello everyone, this is the Soda Popcast, episode 4. Today is June 30th of 2017. My name is Patnet, and today we're going to be talking about E3 2017, which by this point kind of happened a while ago, but this is only once a month. So let's dive in, shall we? My beverage of choice today is a Dr. Pepper, which is my personal favorite soda, so I thought, I should get that for the occasion of E3, being the first E3 the Soda Podcast has gone over. So, anyway, yep, that's what I got.
I like it.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. Good job.
Yep.
Now drink it. Do it.
Drink it. Okay.
Do it.
You can go, by the way.
Sorry, bud. Hey, Tom Dealer here from Sycamore Street Studios. Really excited to talk about E3 2017 also. I'm cheating a bit. Pat, please forgive me. I had like a really garbage day food-wise, so I'm trying to reduce my horrible decision-making a little bit. I'm just going with Ice Blue Gatorade, which is the best Gatorade. Don't at me.
Oh man, hang on. I get to use something.
I got lots of it.
I get to use something I've had prepared for so long, and I finally get to use it.
Should I look at the chat, or is it going to be on this?
It's going to be on here. It's going to be on the stream.
Okay.
There we go. It's up.
Aww.
I just have to... There! Boom! You get it, man. You got it. I had this prepared since day one.
I feel really honored. I just want to say thank you so much. What made you prep that?
What do you mean?
You said you had since day one. How did you think it
I just showed up on the chat.
I knew one of these days someone's not going to have a drink. So I've just had that prepared in case someone didn't have it.
Is this going to stay up the whole stream?
The whole stream,
I want it to stay
man.
up the whole stream.
It's the whole stream. The whole stream you don't have soda, that's where it's up. Yep. You were the first to do it. You were breaking ground here.
Yeah.
What happened to my chat? Is chat working for you guys?
Yeah.
All right. Well, as long as it's working for someone, I guess. Go ahead, Jacob.
And while you guys have been talking about that, I've been eating a whole banana with the peel and swallowing it because I hate myself.
I'm really proud of you.
Yep. And this week, I've actually got a soda with me. I tried looking for a banana soda, but I couldn't find it. So I've got black cherry.
All right.
I should be able to get back on brand next month. Don't worry.
Hopefully.
Bananas for days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that just looks taxing.
All right, well...
I tried. I really did.
Today, it's just the three of us, and we are going to be talking about E3, like I said earlier. So much stuff went down at E3, not just in the Nintendo sphere, but of course in other things, like it usually happens. So this particular podcast, while we usually focus on Nintendo stuff, I'm not necessarily limiting anyone to Nintendo things this podcast. If they want to talk about other things in E3, that's completely fine. But we will be primarily talking about E3. This will mean that the podcast might go on a little bit longer than usual, and it also means that we might not get to do the question segment that we usually do, but we will definitely be talking about stuff. And if you have certain stuff you'd like us to talk about in E3 or whatever, mention it in chat, and then we might bring it up somewhere down the line. But like I said, we usually focus on Nintendo, so it makes sense to start the podcast off with Nintendo. And the Nintendo conference and the Treehouse and stuff, most of it was focused on Mario Odyssey, so it only makes sense to start with Metroid Prime 4, which is coming out on the Switch relatively soon. Or, not relatively soon, who knows when, but I am so excited.
Next year at the very earliest, most likely.
Yes, very, very earliest. I'm going to put my money on at least 2019. But even then,
Oh, yeah.
That's more realistic.
They said 2018, but Nintendo release date logic is take release date, add a year.
Exactly.
Just go from there.
So yeah, this is obviously not going to come out for a while, but they showed a picture. That's all they showed, was just like a picture, basically.
It was the number 4!
And it was the number 4! In the S! Oh my gosh, my heart was racing so hard when I saw that. And I was obviously so excited. For those of you guys who don't know, I am a huge Metroid fan, and Metroid Prime 2, I think, is my favorite. It's like one of my favorite games of all time, if not my most favorite. I can't even talk. I'm so excited.
Specifically 2?
Specifically 2, yes. I enjoyed that one enough to differentiate it as what I prefer over the original. I kind of just like the difficulty, I think, and I also I really liked I feel like they just fixed some of the problems. I mean, they weren't really problems, but fixed some of the problems of the original one. I kind of liked how you had a faster start, like how you didn't have to spend more time getting gear like you did in Metroid Prime 1. I really liked their ammo choices, and I liked how you had to have a certain amount of ammo to use these beams and stuff. And because, like, I feel like in Metroid Prime, you know, you'd get these beams, and then there were certain ones that were just downright better than the others, so you'd only be using those throughout the entire game, except for when you needed a door. And and there's also occasional enemies that required certain things. But I feel like with the ammo, you know, you really got to choose between dark ammo and light ammo, and then of course you get the Annihilator beam, which uses both. And I feel like it was a great way of balancing things. And I love the dark worlds. I think that's like crazy awesome, and I love having to just race through places that you've already been. But it's like it doesn't feel repetitive because so much other stuff is going on that adds to it and stuff, and I feel like it just adds a crazy level of depth, and I'm just a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. I also love Dark Samus.
I know the difficulty is kind of a divisive factor, but I always did really enjoy it. I just never hear such out and out praise for it. So that's why I was interested when you mentioned 2 specifically. Like, I'll get people who say I love the trilogy or I love 1, but 2's a rare something. 2's something I rarely see people go to bat for. So very nice.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely say out of the trilogy, Metroid Prime 2 is my favorite as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's like a perfect.
The giant crab robot is probably one of the best boss fights. The white, I admittedly have not. I played it upon release. I need to give it a replay, but it's towards the end of the game in the dark world. You're in a factory, and the final boss is this big white crab robot.
Quadraxis.
Yes.
Yeah, Quadraxis.
Yeah, that is an awesome fight.
That's actually my favorite boss of the game too. I love that guy.
That series, like the boss fights in that series, are insane. Man.
I know.
Meta Ridley, it's so good.
Metroid knows how to do, like, even in the 2D days, you know, they were always, like, freaking Kraid, who was, like, huge. He starts off small, and then you, like, see a big, you're like, wait, what just happened? It's, like, just the massive bosses have always been so cool, and Quadraxis takes the cake. He's literally huge, and, favorite.
You have to, get, a little roller coaster rail system up his legs, the morph ball form and everything.
Yeah, I know. And how you fought him was really clever. They were able to combine so many different tactics and stuff that you have to do to actually fight him. So he actually goes down as one of my favorite boss fights of all time. And I love how you actually go in the light world and you see pieces of him lying around.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just thinking, I'm going to have to fight this guy, aren't I? And sure enough, lo and behold, you get to the dark world, and then you see the scariest boss you've seen yet in that game, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is real. This is what I actually have to deal with. And then you fight it, and it's I love it. But
when I first entered that big room in the light world, I actually didn't piece together that was going to be a hint at the boss fight for the dark world. But as I progressed through that area, I kind of started piecing together. It's like, I'm gonna have to fight a form of this later, aren't I?
It's really good foreshadowing, yeah.
Yeah, and the Luminoth, the ghost guys, who I think they're called Luminoth. They would leave back tidbits crickets and stuff, and they would be talking about how like they were working on a giant machine and stuff, and they kept hinting at that, and like it's just like there was so much suspense building up to that like crazy scary boss, and then there it was, and you had to fight him, and man, yeah, I absolutely love that boss. But I don't want to stay on this topic for too long, because Lord knows I will, but Metroid Prime 4 is coming out eventually. They showed a small little teaser, I guess, that just basically showed the Samus logo, and then it showed 4. Everyone knew what that was immediately, and quite frankly, it's the thing that it seems to be like the most talked about thing from Nintendo's point of view, even though it was so little was shown about it. But to be fair, you know, just the announcement of it coming out is all that people really need, because, you know, after Metroid Prime Federation Force, people didn't really know where the Metroid series stayed. Of course, there was also Other M. The latest games is just like, well, where is Metroid right now? But they showcased
going all in this year, apparently, though, between that and Samus Returns, you know, like...
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, it is a good time
to be a quick tidbit about why I'm excited for Metroid Prime 4. You know how many good 4s there are in gaming history? Resident Evil 4.
Oh, yes.
The fourth Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, is my favorite in that series. 4 is a great number for great games, so Metroid Prime 4, I'm putting my money in on that already. It's going to be a great game.
Yep.
Now I'm going to drink Gatorade.
Numbers don't lie. Yeah, so... I do want to start the podcast off with Metroid just because I'm selfish and I love the series. We will be going over Mario in just
How
a
dare
bit.
you dictate the flow of your own show?
You know. Speculation has been through the roof lately. I mean, you have to speculate. That's the only thing you can do.
I want them to expand on the 100% ending of Metroid Prime 3 for
Right.
the fourth one.
Mm-hmm. And I
because
actually,
that left so much stuff open.
right, and now they've explained it in an interview. I wish I had the link handy. I could send it in chat. But they explained in an interview sometime last year. Someone showed it to me. But they said that they do plan on that's what they plan on doing for Metroid Prime 4 is expanding on that. And they also confirmed that the person in the ship was Sylux for Metroid Prime Hunters. I don't know how many of you guys played Metroid Prime Hunters, but there's basically
I know who Sylux is.
My brother had the demo when the DS originally came out. It was fun.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with the storyline of it though.
Well, basically, there wasn't much storyline, but there was some hunters that were kind of like Samus, and they were about, and pretty much all of them die, except for, like, specifically Sylux. So a lot of people speculated that ship at Metroid Prime 3 that follows Samus was Sylux, and I actually made a video about it in 2013, suspecting that it was Sylux, and then I later remastered it in 2015, and as of right now, I think it's my most popular video on the channel, mainly because Metroid Prime 4 came out recently, and now people are just searching anything for Metroid Prime 4 because they're so hungry, just like I am. And basically, it's a terrible video. Don't watch it. It's so old. But basically, the Sylux, a lot people have been speculating this for a while, and it's kind of strange though, because Sylux doesn't even have that much character, and he wasn't shown that much in Metroid Prime Hunters, and Metroid Prime Hunters doesn't really have much of a storyline, so it's kind of odd for them to tie that in. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's at least some kind of tie-in, and we get to, you know, play a usual Metroid Prime game. A lot of people were speculating that.
What do you do if the Federation Force soldiers show up in Metroid Prime 4? Are you upset, or are you like?
What kind of style? We talking like in Metroid Prime Federation Force with like the big heads and the tiny bodies?
Yes, they look like the Funko Federation Force.
Oh God, if they did it like that, then I don't know what to say.
I'd lose some hope.
But if they had the actual characters, then that would kind of make sense since it's technically in the same universe,
right,
and everything.
Well, and I'm like the Galactic Federation itself, I don't really have a problem with. I know a lot of people didn't like him in Other M. I personally didn't mind it too much. And then
they
also
were the most involved in 3, and I kind of felt like her like interactions with them worked in 3. I felt it was like a unique kind of like hub-based format that she came back to and everything. I liked it.
Right, and I know there were some like awkward interactions in Other M, and a lot of people didn't like the way Samus
The
acted.
story is garbage.
But basically, I like the idea of just having a government and stuff, and who aren't extremely enthusiastic about what Samus does because she's a bounty hunter stuff. I mean, so it's all been done before, and same song, but like, where was I going with this? Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Metroid or if the Federation Force was in Prime 4, but yeah, in the appearance of Federation Force, I don't know. Now that's what I'm curious about is how the storyline of Federation Force is going to play into it, because I know I don't own Federation Force. Because I was so heartbroken by it. No, I'm just kidding. Just because there's so many games you got to buy out there. But Federation Force, I've looked up. I've spoiled the story for me because I'm a sucker like that, and I love the Metroid lore. So I looked it up and stuff, and I'm curious how they're going to tie that into Federation Force. If it's going to be very tightly together, like if it's going to be a direct sequel of Federation Force almost. That I think people would be less happy about, and I think they would know that, so I think they wouldn't go that route. A lot of people also been talking about the possibility of Metroid Prime actually coming back because it's called Metroid Prime and stuff. I think either way, like some people get worked up by the idea of it coming back again. Some people get worked up by the idea of it being called a Metroid Prime game and not actually having Metroid Prime in it. I think either way, it doesn't matter too much. But if they find a way to make it work, then they can make it work. And then, but like, I don't think. Sorry if I'm like hogging the thing right now, but
no, it's fine. Go right ahead.
I think I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to bring Metroid Prime back in, just because they bring back like every other enemy, like Kraid and Ridley and stuff. And Ridley's been brought back so many different times. Even Other M had lots of bosses from other 2D Metroid games, even though that was probably more for nostalgia reasons. But basically, I wouldn't really mind if Metroid Prime came back too much. I guess I would kind of like it if it was gone, and Metroid Prime is simply a genre, and that's why they're calling it that. I think I'd prefer it that way personally, but I know a lot of people, I don't know. Basically, it's all about the gameplay, and I know the gameplay is going to be good. Hopefully,
Nintendo is the sole developer of 4, if I'm correct from what I read. It's not the original studio behind the Prime trilogy, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. Retro Studios is not working on this one, which is definitely interesting.
They brought back Donkey Kong, and then I don't know what their plans currently are, but it's interesting that Nintendo's taking over full-time production of this, and I wonder if they're going to take it. Well, it's basically, I think they should just have it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Approach. Update it for this generation, but don't ruin any of the form. The formula's great of Prime, but the mechanics are great. So don't mess too much with it. But that remains to be seen.
And so many sequels mess up in that aspect, where they will just try to change a lot of things, and then they'll end up failing in that way. And that's not to say the game shouldn't have innovation or whatnot. But if you're gonna, for a game like this, for Metroid Prime, where people have been waiting for it for so long, I think their best and smartest move would just be stick with what you know, do Metroid Prime again, basically. And that's one of the things I loved about Metroid Prime 2. It literally just felt like an add-on to Metroid Prime, and they kept everything that worked. Just everything that worked in that game they kept, and I absolutely love that. But I'm really hoping to see that in Metroid Prime 4 also. I've got high hopes, just because I have to in this day and age, with the lack of Metroid content. But
you need that optimism to keep you going.
Yeah. Exactly.
From what I heard, I think some of the guys from Retro are working on Metroid Prime 4. Okay. It's just not Retro Studios themselves. I think it might be a few people.
Okay. Interesting.
I am not 100% sure on that.
Okay. Well, either way, it's Nintendo at the end of the day. They tend to do a pretty good job at making games, so.
Speaking of Nintendo, how about that Rabbids game?
I'm legit excited. I cannot lie.
At first, I couldn't believe it was real, and then after I saw gameplay, I was like, crap, I want this.
I'm surprised it's got XCOM kind of style gameplay.
It plays like XCOM, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Ubisoft just threw darts at a board. We're gonna combine the rabbits. Who can we get the licensing to? Mario and XCOM. Go. Design
the nice thing is, it looks like Ubisoft has Nintendo's blessing for the game too.
Yeah, Miyamoto appeared on stage with one of the blaster guns. I'm a huge sucker for the simple stupidity of the Rabbids. I had the Raving Rabbids game they were introduced in. I had Rabbids Go Home on the Wii, which was this bonkers little game. I think they're way better than the Minions, which totally ripped the concept of the Rabbids off, and I stand by that to this day. And I'm interested in, I don't know, I think it's a goofy little concept. As long as the game plays well. I know there's some controversy about Mario characters using firearm type weapons. That kind of rubs a few people the wrong way. And I guess it is a little jarring, aesthetically. But at least they're kind of emphasized as sci-fi weapons and not actual guns. So it's a little bit better, but I guess teach his own,
They kind of look like Nerf guns, and people play Nerf guns all the time and stuff. Plus, this isn't technically even the first time Mario's used guns per se. There's the Super Scope, which I forget what game was that called? That Super Scope actually came with.
Well,
checking right now.
Oh, by Super Scope, you mean the NES one?
Yeah, the NES.
The Super NES one?
Oh, wait a second. Oh, I don't know. That's right. Wait. I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember. Basically, there's a game where Mario is on Yoshi and he starts shooting things. That's
okay. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Oh, wasn't that Mario Safari?
That might have been Mario Safari. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing. They're like arm cannons, aren't they? Aren't they not even?
Yeah.
Really Mega Man. Yeah, they're kind of overpowered Mega Man, blasters.
That was another thing they threw a dart at, by the way. They're like, what kind of guns should we use? Let's just grab Mega Man.
Capcom's not using this. Go for it.
Right.
Here's another dart for a giant rabbit DK.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh gosh. Yeah, okay, so I don't really understand. I don't understand why there's like actual Mario characters and then there's like rabid Mario. That part I was like, what the heck? But I mean, I guess they want to be surprising.
Video game logic.
Yeah.
you'll have to find out in August, only on the Switch.
Is that when it's coming out?
Yeah,
It's August,
confirmed
yeah.
for August.
Oh man. I'm not sure if the world will be ready. So
I'm still not ready for it, and I want it.
Right. Speaking of Mario, Mario Odyssey was like a big focus this time around. There's a tons. Even after the presentation, there was like lots of treehouse footage. I mean, I was like blown away by how much they showed of Mario Odyssey. Like, when they focused on Breath of the Wild in the last E3, they showed a lot of things. But I mean, there's just so much in these treehouse things.
It was just the tip of the iceberg with all that stuff they showed.
I know. It's literally crazy how much they showed.
Oh yeah.
Random aside, how you mentioned how you had an old video that got this boost from an E3 announcement.
Mm-hmm.
In college, my roommate drew a comic that basically combined the film 2001: A Space Odyssey with Mario, and it was just this gag of combining that movie with Mario. And the video is called A Super Mario 3DS Odyssey. It's been on YouTube for 6 years at this point. I'm like literally last week I'm sitting on the couch and I get a thing. It's like a comment and I'm like, on that video, why? And I click on it and the view count. I'm like, what? And then I just realized, so I just added a bunch of tags relevant to the Switch. I'm like, Pauline, New Donk City, Odyssey. Okay, go. So if you want to check it out, it's Super Mario 3DS Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick and Mario together like they deserve to be.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Oh, I just saw like the funniest. It's funny. Oh, I don't want to get. There's someone, Alex Kramer. You guys should look up Alex Kramer, who he made a video on Star Fox. It was like a Star Fox 20th anniversary, which is today. Happy 20th Star Fox. And he made a video. It was like a Star Wars trailer. He used the Star Wars music and stuff, except for he like replaced it with Star Fox footage, and it was just the funniest thing because. Like,
here's the 20th anniversary trailer, top thing. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, he works for Geek. Movie Bob works for Geek.
Who?
Alex Kramer. Well, his YouTube banner is like a Geek.com promo.
Oh, I only knew him as Barry's brother from Game Grumps, but.
Oh, that's why Kramer sounds familiar. It's Barry's brother. Okay.
Basically, if you guys watching, if you want to see a funny Star Fox 64 thing, then you should check that out. But
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mario, they showed lots of worlds. So many. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. They showed so much. There was like the.
Let's begin here. Here's the most important question.
Okay.
The song that Pauline sings. What's everyone's take on the song, the trailer song?
Wait, I think I missed that.
Very interesting that they that Nintendo uses vocals in one of their trailer songs.
It's like, you remember how at least 2 episodes ago I was like, hey, it's Mario, but he's in the real world. It's really Sonic the Hedgehog-y. And now like I'm like, oh man, is this gonna be Mario's escape from the city? We got like, I was just like, are they just leaning into this?
Hang on, I'm looking it up right now because I missed that. I didn't see that. Pauline?
Yeah, Pauline is the mayor of New Donk City.
Right. I caught that.
But she's also the lead singer of a jazz band, and she sings the song in the trailer.
In the
Here
trailer.
we go, raise your sails. Yeah, like.
Oh, okay. Something struck me as weird in that. Like, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I think it's like Jacob said, just using lyrics in a trailer threw me off. But I didn't really understand why it was messing with me. But I guess that might be why. That's interesting. Okay. I didn't hear it enough to have an actual developed opinion on it. Is it like particularly funny or just strange or what?
I think, as Jacob said, it's just like, oh, we're actually getting songs now instead of just scores. So okay.
Yeah. It sounded pretty awesome.
We got lyrics for ARMS also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we during one of the ARMS trailers or whatever, they had like vocals doing it and stuff. Oh, that wasn't really lyrics though. It was more just like
wasn't lyrics. It was just vocals.
Yeah. Kind of like a lot of other stuff. Anyway, Okay, so I guess it was like the same actress. Is that why? Is that why it's Pauline? Is that what you're saying? Like the same actress who plays Pauline in the Mario game?
Probably.
I suppose.
Now, how is it Pauline?
I'm curious. I'm curious if we're gonna get full blown voice acting too. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure if Mario's ready for that.
Like Galaxy had it to an extent.
That's true. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be strange.
It's so cool that they're bringing back the explicit connections to the original Donkey Kong now, though. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Yeah. Which is why Pauline's in there.
Yeah, like I wonder if so. So you remember how Mario's original origins were that he was from Brooklyn and he went down to and arrived in the Mushroom Kingdom. Mm-hmm. So it's like I feel like they slowly moved away from that over the course of the franchise. Like Yoshi's Island basically presents this new origin where they were born to parents in the Mushroom Kingdom,
right?
And now like I'm so interested in what they're doing with Odyssey in terms of what New Donk City is, because it's filled with real sized people and he's like really small. So is it going to be like, oh Mario, you disappeared for decades and your anatomy has been horribly warped? Like,
oh my gosh.
And now you're taking a hat and you're possessing human beings and tanks and mailboxes.
I lost it when that mechanic was introduced. I was
like, I know. Oh, it was great though. Like I love that mechanic so much. I feel like that fits Mario so well. Just to like, take control of anything. And, like he takes control of a dinosaur. Even I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That's amazing.
This is mine now. This is mine now.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Oh, human using a remote control to control an RC car. Mine.
Even just like non-living objects, like just a random pole. He's like, oh yeah, here, take this hat. And it like flings off it.
I'm a street pole now. Hey.
Wow, it looks like so bizarre. It's like such a bizarre Mario game.
Oh, you have a wife and a child now, huh? I'm going to be enjoying that tonight.
What did you guys think of? So I guess I got used to the realistically proportioned humans, but I guess with that T-Rex, they're going for like it has more of a realistic sheen. Like, we're so used to the cartoony dinosaurs that are the Yoshis. Now here's a real living T-Rex like we would see in a generic real life video game. So it's like they're really riding this line between where Mario's in Mushroom Kingdom type areas and then where he's literally in real world type areas. What do you think of that aesthetic?
It's interesting. It's I think it's going to be an adjustment a little bit, because it is looking. It's like you said, now that they show the dinosaur and stuff, it's looking like they are capitalizing more on the realistic area. There's still probably going to be a fair share of both. I mean, we've seen like the desert planet stuff. It's got some crazy characters there. They're still cartoony, and I feel like as long as they keep a good amount of both, it might be all right. But at the same time, it's just kind of strange going from cartoon to the real world, back to cartoon, back to the real world and stuff. But yeah, like the more realistic parts that I've seen so far hasn't resonated with me too much. Like the city and stuff, I wasn't feeling the city like extremely well. I did feel like it was just a little bit too realistic, and I wonder if I'm going to get that same feeling just throughout the entire game as I'm jumping through different worlds and whatnot, jumping between realism and cartoon. But yeah, I think it'll be an adjustment overall, but I don't know.
I think it'll come down to how the mechanics work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, it's strange because it's in a way one of the most realistic Mario games, but it's also in a way one of the most bizarre Mario games because so many bizarre things are happening, but you're also mixing in the real world a lot. So I don't know if it's just going to be kind of like an awkward mixture when it comes out, but I mean, who knows? It could work pretty well. I mean, at the end of the day, the gameplay is what's important, and it's going to be a Mario game, so hopefully the gameplay is going to be pretty darn good. But I do think it's going to be a little bit unsettling at certain points, but maybe you get used to it, maybe you don't. I don't know.
It drops the weekend my friend is getting married, and he has a Switch. One of the other groomsmen has a Switch. Like, I plan on having it by then. And we all just joked. It was just like, you just need to cancel your wedding, dude. We're all just playing Odyssey the whole weekend. Like, we're not going to be here.
Yeah. Well, dude, the Switch is portable. Just take it to the wedding. He can play it while he's standing.
Everyone's up on the...
all the groomsmen and stuff and the bridesmaids are all just like on their Switches and whatnot. Yeah. It's pretty funny too because Mario Odyssey is gonna have a big wedding theme to it with Bowser marrying Peach again and stuff. Yeah, that's great. That's perfect.
The best tweet was a picture of all the wedding amiibos, and it was like a Nintendo launches the wedding toppers of 1,000,000 nerd weddings. Cake toppers, sorry.
Also that bouquet was basically piranha plants.
Oh yeah, it was. That was a cute little choice.
Yeah,
I
loved that.
That was.
Yeah. Spotters has been chatting a lot. I've been reading your chats, by the way, Spotters. I just hasn't been responding. You also said Mario being next to small people or next to real life humans. Rip Matt Pat's game theories. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's been so long since I watched those. I'm not sure what he's referencing, but anyway.
He's had lots. One of his earliest videos was like deducing the height of Mario characters, and I think there was a running gag where he deduced that Wario has to be like 10 feet tall or something.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've watched it too, but I remember that gag in his earlier stuff.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, oh geez, it's already been 40 minutes minus the wait time, so it's
30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. Okay, so we still got a good amount of time. We probably should move off the topic of Mario, though.
We always go over.
Yeah.
We always go over. And in fact, we might even go over more than usual, depending on how long we talk about this stuff. But so Mario, what else is like big enough that you guys really want to talk about like right now, like as a big discussion?
I think it's pretty interesting. Oh, sorry. Go, Jacob. Go.
Something to add about the Mario and Rabbids game. Grant Kirkhope is doing the music.
I didn't actually know that. Oh,
yeah. It is confirmed that Grant Kirkhope is doing the music for that Mario and Rabbids game.
Like I need any more reason to buy this game.
This is Tom's soulmate. This game is
all doubt.
Sweep him off his
all
feet.
doubt shattered.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Grant Kirkhope is a pretty legendary song composer.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Yep. What else was big though? Like there was. I feel like there's something at the tip of my tongue.
I think it's pretty noteworthy that in getting a port of Rocket League, Nintendo is now going to have a game. Well, I think this isn't specifically Nintendo related, but Rocket League and Minecraft introducing
cross-platform.
Yes, exactly.
Huge.
That is
Huge.
big. That's real big. And then they got like other games too coming out on the Switch that are like that could definitely use cross-platform, like Payday 2 and there was another one I was thinking of earlier that I can't think of. But it would be nice to see a lot more openness towards cross-platform and play, because I mean that helps everybody. That definitely helps everybody when you can play Rocket League with PC and Xbox and stuff. And I mean. And at the end of the day, it's just going to get more people to play your game. So I think that's a great idea. And I think it's just awesome for the players, too.
It was also confirmed that we're actually going to be getting a brand new main core Pokemon game on the Switch in the future. Which means my prediction came true from last month's podcast.
That's true.
That's right. You did call that.
Except you got to...
Pat, we need another graphic. We need we need just called it and just hover over their screen.
Called it.
I'm a little disappointed that Talon's predictions were off about it not being the year of Toad, but I'll survive.
We're getting a new Kirby and Kirby game, a new Yoshi game.
Right.
They have tentative titles though, so they're probably going to be like late 2017, early 2018. That's the case.
Very creative tentative titles, might I add.
Just Yoshi and Kirby, which are obviously placeholder names, which that's understandable.
Now,
also
Kirby...
the new Yoshi game kind of looks like it's an evolution of Yoshi's Woolly World in terms of the graphical style.
Dude, they've been killing it with the aesthetics lately. But what's interesting is having Kirby so early is that like usually Kirby comes out fairly late within a system's life cycle, right? Like
the Shards,
Epic Yarn came out pretty late in the Wii's life cycle. I'm having trouble pinpointing it, but I always thought that the joke was that like they would always send out a Kirby game when the system's dead, so that they could just make the last bit of sales they can with a pretty popular franchise. But no, this one's pretty early on. I mean, even if it is in 2018 or even 2019, that's still relatively early on for Kirby. Also, Yoshi, I'm glad to see that there's just more mainline Yoshi games coming down.
Yeah. I think Nintendo just wants to have as many of their franchises on the Switch as possible within the next year.
And that's a really good plan, because the Wii U really lacked that. There was no there was no Metroid, there was no Zelda, there was other than Breath of the Wild, but of course that came out when the Switch came out. So I do think mainline early on will help them a lot. Quickly to note what 3D Spotter says: Minecraft going on Windows 10, Pocket, Xbox, Switch, and Raspberry Pi. That are the cross-compatible. Right. It should be noted that Minecraft will not be cross-compatible with PC, which has a lot of people worked up or excited and stuff like that because they're keeping it different. I don't know. Also, he says, in Rocket League, that is every console connect to PC, but consoles cannot connect to each other. Is that true?
That's interesting.
I thought they were offering in the video. I thought the only holdout was PS4, and they were openly then their excuse was we can't have our moderators watching content coming in from other consoles. I could have sworn there was the Rocket League. Sorry,
No, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, I thought I heard that it was everywhere except PS4 also, but I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of odd that Sony's backing out of the cross-platform stuff this time around.
Yeah, there was a couple things that they're not doing cross-platform, huh?
I think it is Minecraft, and I think it's Rocket League.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, which is odd because I think it was Microsoft that did it the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time Microsoft's saying, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. Well, I guess in some regards it kind of makes sense that Minecraft's not going to be cross-platform play with PS4 because it is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft and PS4 are pretty big competitors.
Yeah.
But, obviously there's been other cross-platform games between the two, but it's like, how hard are they actually going to try to get PS4 to let them do that? That's... there was probably some breaking point, never mind, this isn't worth it. You guys are a competitor anyway. We're not going to send the game over. But I do think all the cross-platform play that's been happening with Rocket League and Minecraft, in the end of the day, will unite a lot of players and help a lot of things. So that's good. But anyway, back on to Kirby and Yoshi. Yoshi games are very different from Mario games, and I'm glad to see that they are, recognizing that and embracing that. Because when you buy a Yoshi game, you're not buying a Mario game. They are two separate things and stuff. And I'm just basically glad that they're continuing the Yoshi series and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Also, it's important.
I dig it.
It's also important to note with the Kirby game that they're bringing back a lot of the mechanics from older games, like the dual abilities from Kirby 64 and the co-op 4-player co-op from Return to Dreamland, and basically the co-op in general from Kirby Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
It's actual partners this time instead of Waddle Dee, Meta Knight, and a Waddle Dee, or Waddle Dee and Meta Knight and DDD.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. All good things on that front.
Yeah. Yeah, because I noticed the rock and ice power was basically just a curling rock, which is, I think, what you got from the same combination in Kirby 64.
Hey, speaking of Kirby and Team Play Kirby and this podcast, a while back we found out that the Kirby thing was available today and was for free or something. Did any of you guys get a chance to try that on the 3DS? That Kirby?
I did not. I actually didn't know it was out.
I haven't fired up my 3DS in a bit, actually. Been solely got the wedge, yeah.
Well, I mainly only remember it because it was...
Checking it right now.
A funny bit because Jacob brought it up, and then Tom, you said, I know what I'm doing after this. And then you're like, I'm just going to bed. But I clipped that, and I thought it was really funny. But basically, I tried that game, and it turns out that a free game with pay to play is basically just Nintendo's demo anyway. So it's it was literally just a demo, and I played it, and I was disappointed. But I don't know.
It's free, so you can't really complain all too much.
No. I mean, it's free as a demo.
Okay.
Honestly, that's what bugs me is that it is really just a demo.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Same thing with Stretchimo and Pushimo and stuff. They had a pay to play versions of those on there, but it was really just you could play 5 levels and then you have to pay. I'm like, how is that different from a demo? It's literally just a demo, except you can play it infinite times because Nintendo puts limits to how many times you could play a demo for whatever reason.
You can delete and re-download it though, and it gains it gains however many uses back.
Right, but that makes me more upset because it's like, well, then why didn't you just if you're just gonna let us do that anyway, why not just make it convenient for us and not have us re-download? I don't know. I don't understand putting a limit on demos. That bugs me a lot. But this isn't a podcast talking about annoying things about Nintendo. We talked about. Does anyone have any more thoughts about like Kirby or Yoshi or whatever?
Just looking forward to what they're going to be, and just
I'm
gonna
excited
be patient.
for both.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I realized that we haven't really talked about Samus Returns yet, which I do want to go over, if not just briefly. Basically, during the Treehouse event, not even during the press conference, this was kind of a surprise to a lot of people. They randomly showed a trailer for a brand new Metroid game, which is side-scrolling Metroid game, which, oh my gosh, side-scrolling and a Prime, that's what people want.
It's a good year.
It's so good.
I had the treehouse turned off at that time, and then I saw all the people saying something about another Metroid game on 3DS. Like, you can't hit me with that from the side.
Yep.
What are you
Same
doing?
here. I turned it off. I was like, yeah, I can't wait here for like 5 hours and watch gameplay. I got to go do stuff. I'll watch the VODs.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But
it is a little perplexing that they didn't put it in the main video.
Right?
Like, it was only a half hour long. Excuse me. The main video was only a half hour long. Like, you could have stretched it out by an extra 2 minutes to showcase that.
Right.
I mean,
and even if you couldn't, there could have been some things you swapped out instead for that, you know. Well, and if you just taken the time, they have the treehouse anyway right after. You could have just like taken that out, pushed the treehouse that amount of length, slapped that at the end, and it would have been, you know, the same amount of time. So I wonder if it really was just an attempt to try to get more people to watch the treehouse, because they said they'd be announcing stuff throughout the thing and stuff. And that was a big bomb right there. Like, they announced something so big in the middle of a treehouse, and I think that's going to make people watch more treehouses in the future, possibly. If not, that's just what they intended to do, maybe. But, yeah, either way, Samus Returns, it's another Metroid 2 remake, and I absolutely loved Metroid 2, so
yep.
I also loved another Metroid 2 remake, so I'm sure I'll love this too. Also, this makes a little bit... It makes the claim that they put on another Metroid 2 remake, it makes that...
It kind of makes a little more sense why they sent the takedown notice. Because they were working on their own at the time,
right.
But they didn't want to tell anybody directly.
Yep.
And they actually said that in an interview too. They someone interviewed the I think it was producer of Metroid or something, and that was one of the things he brought up. He said he was aware of another Metroid 2 remake, and when they sent the claim, they had already another remake in the works, and which is plays another factor. So, but not only did they show a trailer, they did us the greatest thing, and they played the game on the treehouse. Yep. Oh my gosh!
Looks very fun.
Oh, it looks so much fun. So much fun.
You mean that they did the next greatest thing and gave us 2 more Metroid amiibos?
Yeah, that's also true.
Oh,
dude,
those look sick.
Again, I know I've complained about this on the podcast before, but Europe and other territories getting special editions that we're not getting. The Samus Returns special edition looks great.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Europe only.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Need that.
I also like that the Metroid amiibo is squishy.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the amiibos look so good. Oh my gosh, I want them so bad. But yeah, I wonder how much this game and Metroid Prime 4 is going to tie in, like as far as storyline goes, or even just some kind of mix between the two. Likely not much, mainly because Prime 4 is still probably going to come out a long ways away from this one. Because this one, I mean, when did they say it was coming out again?
This fall, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. How can they just announce that just now and say like, oh, by the way, this soon? And you're like, wait, what? Why couldn't they mention that earlier so that, I don't know. Basically, but I guess at the end of the day, you know, we're getting it sooner rather than later. But yeah, I wonder how that's also going to tie into the story, because the Metroid storyline is very complex as far as where games go, and honestly, this game could fit anywhere if they tried hard enough. So, oh wait, no, it's just Metroid 2. That's right.
Yeah.
Duh. So it's just going to go where Metroid 2 went. Never mind. I completely forgot about that aspect. So yeah, it's just going to go. All right.
It is going to be released on September 15th, 2017.
Nice.
I guess that's fall. Yeah, that's fall.
It's the last few days of summer, so it's the fall fiscal year basically.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nintendo can't seem to get its seasons on point sometimes, though. Like, for the Smash Bros. For 3DS, they said it was coming out in the summer, and they ended up taking it out in, like, what was it? I think it was, like, late August or something. No. Not late August.
Smash Brothers for 3DS came out in October.
That's what it was, October, that's right.
Wii U came out a month later on the Wii U.
Right.
That's right.
Oh, man. Those were the days, man. That was 3DS Smash Bros. Was the game I was most hyped for in my entire life, just because... Not because it was just, it was new Smash, but
Yeah.
And eventually we're gonna get everyone. Okay, real quick. I'm kind of scatterbrained everywhere right now, but people were complaining that about the E3 how there was no match at Smash Bros. I'm like, dude, where you been? It's Smash Brothers. It takes time. Why are you already complaining? The Switch just came out. Give it time.
I really
Seriously.
don't want the Wii U Smash Bros. Community to get shut down just yet. Like, let it live for a little bit longer before you pull the plug on it eventually.
There you go. Exactly. And some people were also specifying that they were sad that it didn't say Smash Brothers port for the Switch. That's more understandable. But as for Smash Brothers 5, I'm like, oh, come on. You can wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I am disappointed, though, that there's no port.
I'm kind of wondering if they're weighing out how beneficial that would be, considering, as you just said, we just got Smash 4. Like, why rush into...
Right.
Like, I don't know. I think they might just... Maybe they're just like, forget it. We're just... Why just not just put all the time into Smash 5? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is one way to look at it. Like, if someone actually asked me, like, would you rather us make Smash Brothers 4 for the thing, or make Smash Brothers 5 come out that much sooner? I'd probably say Smash 5 come out that much sooner, because I could still play the game on here. I just do think it's disappointing, though, that such a grand game is kind of on a system that doesn't sell very well, and like not a lot of people have.
That's the public's fault. They missed out.
That's true.
Yep.
And the Switch has been selling like crazy. I think reports came out that it sold faster at launch, or it sold better at launch than the Wii did, which is crazy because the Wii sold crazy well. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell better than the Wii.
I know it recently crossed 1 million sales in Japan, so that's pretty significant.
Mm-hmm. And I still check Amazon like so often. There's like hardly any ever there, so I don't know who they're selling them to, but it's not me. But
when I was actually doing some shopping today, I saw a Wild Switch Pro controller.
Oh, did you grab one?
I can't afford it right now.
That's a bummer.
Are those hard to get? Are they like really rare right now?
I saw one or two on the shelves. Well,
Okay.
not the controllers themselves, just like a piece of cardboard saying, "Hey, go and claim this from the register."
Nice.
So they are in stock in a few places, but still just check online, check people that are keeping up with stocks and stuff like that.
And they have like automatic websites you can go to where it'll just tell you like like automatically and stuff. And so they're selling so well that people can't get them, which is unfortunate. But I guess if they're selling well, then how much more can they do? Also, we also definitely need to talk about this. The Super Nintendo Mini or Super Nintendo Classic.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, does that thing look amazing? Wow, does that look good?
It's also going to have Star Fox 2.
Oh my
I
gosh.
saw that adorable tweet.
Very important because it was unreleased, and the only way you can technically play it is through a ROM or a reproduction cart of the beta. So we're basically getting a complete version of Star Fox 2. We're going to see everything all put together and just complete.
Well, and thank heavens, too. I mean, people have been asking for them to somehow release that game for so long because they know it's been done. I think this is a great way to make it out, as long as they make more systems than you can count on your hands. Because otherwise, people are going to be so upset if they can't make enough of these.
Nintendo also stated that there's going to be more in stock, so...
But they also, in that same statement, said, we're going to make more, but we're also going to only, sell this for a set period of time, and then we're going to discontinue it. So it's like,
It's so disappointing, too, because, I full-heartedly believe that they will make more SNES classics than they did NES classics, but it's still going to be nearly impossible to get. Because honestly, I think more people are going to want to get this than they did the NES classic with not only the Star Fox 2 release, but just in general, Super Nintendo games. I mean, it's more powerful hardware. A lot of the times, the games are just better than the NES games.
There's some sick third-party titles on there. Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy 3, Contra 3.
There was a Castlevania too, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Super Mario RPG's on there, which is always like a nice big like cult favorite. It's got a great line of games.
Every single game on there has a great track record. Like they couldn't have picked better games. Every game on there,
they could have put Chrono Trigger on there, but
yeah.
Oh, they didn't put Chrono Trigger.
It's also on the DS, and that version is basically like the definitive version that you can get.
It's true.
Okay, wait, I thought I saw Chrono. Oh no, that was Secret of Mana, right? Okay, another game that people love. And then games like Earthbound, which a lot of people have by now. People always want more copies of Earthbound because there's no original copies you can get online. So it's like everything they can get. All those games are just so good.
Also, I cannot confirm or deny that the SNES Mini will get yellow as it ages.
If it follows in the footsteps of its father, yeah.
It would be neat if it did that, but I don't know.
The yellow doesn't yellow.
Maybe it changes color if it comes into contact with different temperatures.
We'd have to find out. I also saw that adorable tweet from the Star Fox 2 development team. They went out for celebratory release drinks 20 years after they should have. They were like, oh. And it's kind of, this is a little bit shitty, but apparently they found out their game was getting released the same way we did, through a press release. Like, they weren't even told.
Wow.
Oh, man, that stinks.
Yeah, they were like, oh, they all called each other, have you been on Twitter today? Our game's coming out. Want to go get a drink?
That's disappointing.
But it was cute. See, like they're all at this table together. They look happy.
That's good.
Star Fox 2 is also important in that it would have been the first appearance of Star Wolf.
It's true.
But that was pushed to Star Fox 64.
Yeah, from what I recall of the history of Star Fox 2, that had a more. You guys remember Star Fox Command on the DS?
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas mission based and everything, objective based.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like Command is one of the most overshadowed Star Fox games for sure. But I think I've talked about it a lot in the podcast already. But yeah, I basically really like that game. I think it's a ton of fun. It's very different, and I think that scares a lot of people away because it's not like any other Star Fox game. But I basically really like it.
Yeah. However, there is a little caveat for playing Star Fox 2 on the SNES Mini. You have to beat the first level of Star Fox.
Yep.
That's it. That's it.
You see, that's another title that I think is great that they put on there, because even Star Fox is hard. I mean, every SNES cartridge at this point is hard to get, so it's like, it's just great. I'm so excited for that. If I can get it somehow. It's
cool.
I wonder, have they explained how the controllers are going to work and stuff? Like, does it work the same way the NES Classic did?
There are some Wii remote ports on it, so it's going to work the same way.
Gotcha. Are they going to make the cords better this time and longer?
I think the cords are 5 feet now.
Okay.
By the time we get the N64 Classic, they'll be 10 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Just add a couple of feet every time.
And if it does have Bluetooth capabilities, then those 8-bit DO pads would work on them most likely.
Okay.
Since they do actually work on the Switch if you have the right firmware update on those controllers.
All right, now, so here's my question. If it comes out in Japan, is it going to have a different thing like they did with the NES? And are the controllers...
It's going to have
different
appearances.
Yes. I love the color controllers. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. I mean, obviously I can't get a Japan one if I can't even get an American one, but, it's just nice to know that there's at least multiple kinds out there.
Oh yeah, and speaking of peripherals for the Switch, the Mayflash GameCube adapter works on it.
Seriously?
With what?
You have to update the firmware to make this thing work on the Switch.
So to what extent? What
games? You could use a GameCube controller on it. It will not work with Breath of the Wild, but it works with stuff like Puyo Puyo Tetris, and I think it's basically anything that doesn't need the second control stick.
Interesting. I wonder how they wired that.
I don't know, but it's basically the same update that will make this work with Pokken Tournament. So,
okay,
yeah,
that's another game. You see, okay, Nintendo, man, they they threw a punch at my gut and they released like a Pokemon Direct like a week before E3. I'm like, are you serious? And I had to like throw stuff together and like just watch it and stuff. But it almost feels like Nintendo is purposely trying to devalue E3 almost, because they always share stuff like right before E3 or right after and stuff. It's like, why didn't you just like move that? I don't know. Basically, there's a Pokemon Direct there also though, and like, and was it the Pokemon Direct they mentioned the the main series RPG?
Yeah, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Or was that mentioned in
The new Direct Switch title was in the E3 video, but the Direct was as Jacob said,
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and basically just announcing Pokken Tournament DX. They had more footage of it at E3, and I think they did have an invitational tournament of the game at E3.
Now, Pokken Tournament, a lot of people seem to be happy about because apparently it's a really good game, except you know, no one has a Wii U, so it's...
I own it. I played it for a little bit. I haven't been back to it. I would like to get into it, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you like fighting games, you know, it's totally...
Yeah.
I think Smash Brothers is probably about the only fighting game I play, so I'm not sure it would be incredibly up my alley. And I also don't play a ton of Pokemon either, but it's nice. It's just like a cool idea, you know, being a freaking Blastoise and beating guys up or something. I don't know if Blastoise is even a Pokemon you can use.
No, it's not. Suicune is, though.
Suicune. Oh, dude, I love Suicune. Not Diamond.
And one of the new characters they announced for DX, for the Pokken Tournament DX, is Decidueye, which is one of the Gen 7 starters.
That was my favorite one. Yeah, it's Rowlet's final form.
Yep.
Really great really great design on that Pokemon.
That's cool.
Okay. So Fire Emblem Warriors taking the
I want that game.
Warriors route.
Did they show footage of that? And
yes, they did.
Treehouse. Okay, I thought so.
They also had a gameplay demo at the Treehouse.
Right. Okay.
Being that my only experience with Marth is through the Smash Brothers titles, it was really jarring hearing him speak in English in that trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Fire Emblem Warriors. I haven't played a Warriors game, so.
It basically looks like it's going to play similar to Hyrule Warriors, except it'll have its own little flares here and there.
Okay.
Yeah. The main Warriors games I've ever played personally is the Dynasty Warriors Gundam games. That's a great license. That's a great license title. To get Wing Zero and blast everything out of the way, it's so good.
I know there's a lot of people really excited for Fire Emblem Warriors. It's not a bad concept. I mean, you know, like you're in Fire Emblem, you're always fighting like faceless enemies anyway. So it's like you kind of picture them as those kind of guys who would just like, you know, fly everywhere and stuff when you whack them with the sword. So
I think it just comes down to how stacked is your franchise character roster. Yeah. Is it X amount? Good. Here's a Warriors game.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And everyone knows
pretty
that
much.
Fire Emblem is insanely stacked with characters and stuff. And then like even that Fire Emblem Heroes game, you could be like every single character in the entire game and stuff. And I know Fire Emblem fans just love that, and I know Fire Emblem fans will definitely love Fire Emblem Warriors also, as well as probably Warrior fans. And
of course, it's getting some amiibo.
Naturally.
We're getting a Crom and a Tiki amiibo.
We have to. By law, it's demanded.
Especially
so
after
Crom
Crom
finally
got
has
an
an
amiibo.
amiibo.
Yeah. After Crom had fallen and couldn't get up, he's now his own amiibo. So, okay, so Fire Emblem Heroes. What else was big? I feel like there's one big shocker that we're missing. Was there? I didn't actually have notes this time. This is the first time I didn't put up notes.
Yeah, I had notes, but I didn't save them, I guess.
I guess it was a shocker. I guess it was a shocker that we didn't get any Miitomo updates. Like I really thought they were gonna.
We are getting Miitopia though.
And yeah, that's true. Miitopia. That's kind of like this. So there's like Tomodachi Life, and then there was Miitomo, and then there's whatever this new one's called, and then Miitopia, right? Miitopia.
Yeah, Miitopia.
Okay.
It's actually got a demo on the 3DS right now, and the full game's going to be out a few months from now. So, if you want to see how the game will work, then download the demo and have fun with it.
I mean, I'm personally, I don't know how much more watered down Sims I can take, but the at least the avatars are cute.
It basically plays like an RPG.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can have your Dark Lord main big bad guy be Michael Bay if you want.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause you
Always
set
good.
your own guys.
Always good.
What's up, Tom?
I have like a non E3 kind of cool thing. I was gonna send you guys links really quick, but I don't want to interrupt. So if there's any, like, you know what I mean, Switch related. So I just wanted to see how much more E3 stuff you guys wanted to cover.
Okay.
We could cover some of the non-Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
I've got a couple of them.
Okay. So there was the Xbox and the PlayStation stuff.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I just muted my headphones. Okay.
Oh.
Nope. Good.
The main takeaway I got from Microsoft was the Dragon Ball Fighter Z game.
That looks so good.
It looks fantastic. It's basically it basically has the same art style as the anime, and a lot of the abilities are basically modeled after set pieces from the battles in the series.
It's a real stylistic overhaul that I'm
glad
to see. Yeah. Because they've always gone with that 3D-ified version of it's like we have the same kind of skin textures and everything, but we're 3D now. Yeah. So I like how they're committing more to the art style of the show.
The models themselves are 3D, yet it looks like they're 2D because of the animation style.
Yeah.
And I actually had to take a still from the anime itself and from the game, and I compared the two, and I could barely tell the difference.
Nice.
Yes. And the best thing is that game is still a ways off. I think the release date's next year, so it's going to have a lot of time to look even better.
More polished, the better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other takeaway I took from the Microsoft conference was the Ori sequel.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool to hear. I still need to get around, I know the Ori kind of was a sleeper hit that just blew up in popularity. So I think that's really cool.
Definitely. I know a lot of people were disappointed that there was no mention of Undertale going to the Switch and stuff.
Yeah,
but just to add on more to
Undertale's going to be on the PS4.
It is, yeah.
It is?
Nothing else. Yeah.
Oh, was that announced in E3?
Yeah, that was announced at E3. It was it was announced before the Sony conference.
Yeah.
A few minutes before.
That's probably why I missed it then. Okay. So that's awesome. So that probably makes more sense why people were more disappointed that it's not coming to the Switch. How it's
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people just said because it's kind of like Earthbound in a lot of ways, almost like a spiritual successor, even though a little bit more different than Earthbound and stuff. But I feel like a lot of people were disappointed that it wasn't coming to Switch. But
I was kind of hoping for Switch, but who knows? It may be on there ways down the road, but for right now, it's going to be on PS4 and Vita.
I'm very excited
that Vita.
That on the Microsoft side, Cuphead has finally been dated and it's coming out. It's been one of the most intriguing looking indie games I've seen in a while. For those unfamiliar, it's a side-scrolling kind of shoot 'em action, beat 'em up in the vein of Mega Man, but the characters and the environments, they're all stylized in the vein of old school 1930s
1940s cartoons,
hand-drawn animation, and every frame of the game was drawn by hand. So it's one of the few games in a while where I've just been hooked by the quality gimmick. I'm sure the game is gonna play very well, but I just saw this art style and I'm like, so excited for this.
Yeah.
Yes,
it does look really nice.
And updates on Sea of Thieves, but also not this year. Bummed, but I'm still excited for it.
Now, is that the first one of Rare's new IPs in a decade or so?
At least. If we don't count the Kinect sports games that they worked on.
Okay. We like to forget about those.
They did Grab by the Ghoulies, and then they had Perfect Dark Zero and Cameo, Viva Pinata, Nuts and Bolts. So, it's the first new IP from Rare since Viva Pinata.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, to talk a little bit about that Dragon Ball Z thing Jacob was mentioning earlier, I was unfortunate enough to have the only Dragon Ball Z game I played being the one that apparently is like the worst one out there. And that was what was it called?
Sagas,
yeah, that's it. I had that on the GameCube, and when I was a kid and didn't know better, I was like, this game, it's the greatest. I love it so much. And then like I would notice problems too and not acknowledge that they're problems. And then later I saw someone do a video on it. I was remembering back. I was like, wait a second, that's right. That was a huge problem. And I'm like, wait, why were the combos so bad? Why was it so framesy? What is up with all these dumb, stupid things about this game? But yeah, I enjoyed like the universe stuff, all the different characters, and I'm sure all that stuff I can get from a new Dragon Ball Z game. So who knows? I might get one of those also. What platforms is it coming out on again?
Definitely PC and Xbox One. I think it's also coming out on PS4 and PC.
Okay.
Windows 10 PC, Xbox One, PS4. And the developer said they're not completely turned off to putting it on the Switch. They just need a lot of fan support saying, hey, can you put this on Switch, please?
Right. Okay.
And I think they're also going to be putting Xenoverse 2 on the Switch. Let me check that.
I remember shown off in one of the early Switch Directs, like when they were showing off on third-party support. So.
Oh yeah. One of the platforms stated is Nintendo Switch, so I think we are going to be getting that one later this year or maybe early next year.
Yeah, Nintendo has been doing an excellent job at letting in third-party games for the Switch so far.
Yes,
they have to keep it up.
Right, and like because that a lot of people speculate that's what one of the biggest problems with the Wii U was, that they had very little third-party support. And now the Switch has a ton of it, which is already such a good sign and very comforting. And we got more word from Skyrim and stuff, and then of course Minecraft and a lot of other third-party stuff. So that's definitely very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
What is there anything else that's like really big that we could go into a deep discussion about?
Complete Shadow of the Colossus remake for the PS4.
Yeah,
not a graphical upscaling. It's a
actual
complete
from
the ground up remake.
That's always comforting to hear.
Yes, and it's going to play at the frame rate it was intended, because it played like crap on the PS2, even though it was a great game.
I see.
The hardware could not handle what the game wanted to do.
Yeah,
basically.
And yet it was still a masterpiece. So.
Yeah, I played it at when it was still fresh at the time, and I loved it.
Now I don't have any experience with Shadow of the Colossus, but from what I've heard, apparently the soundtrack is just outstanding.
Oh, the score is amazing.
That's awesome.
Score's amazing, very beautiful cutscenes, and just the game design itself is just ingenious. It's just like, hey, go climb that thing and kill it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now do it 15 more times.
Yep.
Now, does it ever get repetitive, or does it feel fresh every time?
It kind of feels fresh every time. There's a different way to approach each boss when you go up against them.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Well, what systems is the remake coming out on?
PS4.
Yeah.
Just PS4? Okay.
PS4 just PS4, since it was it's Sony. It's a Sony property.
IP.
So yeah,
that's pretty cool.
From the guys who made The Last Guardian and Eco.
Both games are pretty popular.
Yeah.
The Last Guardian, that well-received game.
Now, have either of you guys played that? I don't even know much about it, but I do know that it kind of made a splash.
I have not.
I just know if its kind of messy reputation, where it was hyped for forever, and then when it came out, it was interesting, but it didn't fully work, and everyone just kind of piled on it for not fully working. It's like, how dare you? So, I admittedly haven't played it, but Mega64 made a pretty great video about it, so I'll just...
Okay. All right, well, I know that, oh gosh, my headphones cut out again.
Oh, great.
We need to start GoFundMe to get Pat some new headphones.
Yeah.
If you guys would like to donate, please go to...
Or, hey, instead of donating, if you're a soda company out there, man, sponsor us, and that way I could buy new headphones. Hashtag sponsor for Pat's headphones. That's what we'll do. So, yeah, gosh, what were we even talking about? There was a... we're kind of on the Sony era. Was there any other Sony games that you guys are extremely excited for?
We got more God of War footage.
Oh, that's what I was looking for. I knew there was something like big that I was missing, but that's right. God of War, people seem to be very hyped for that because they love God of War and stuff. Wait, Assassin's Creed also. I don't know if that's not necessarily Sony
Assassin's
exclusive.
Creed Origins.
Right. People seem to be really okay. Those are the two games I was missing in my head. Like I was like, I know there's something big out there that people really want, but yeah, Assassin's Creed and God of War, and also 3D Spotter said, "Take my money." Is that referring to God of War or Assassin's Creed? We don't have to wait for him to respond. You guys can. Do you guys have anything that you want to add to Assassin's Creed or God of War?
I think I might. I don't know. I'm kind of like over both of those respective franchises. I admire Ubisoft for taking a bit of a break with Assassin's Creed. I guess an Egyptian setting's pretty cool. I don't think anything's ever been good when Origins is added to its name.
Wait,
looking at you, X-Men Origins Wolverine. But
what about Rayman Origins?
Okay, exception. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, that's the exception.
Rayman Legends is better.
I have heard that.
Yes.
But I don't know. Both are like older friend. Well, Assassin's Creed isn't that old. They both are just things that my interest fizzled out on. So now it's like God of War, but with a beard. Assassin's Creed, but with pyramids. It's like
right,
maybe.
I totally understand what you're saying. Assassin's Creed to begin with, I feel like the gameplay never really sold on me. Just kind of doing a lot of parkour and stuff. That's not really up my alley. So having a am I crashed?
You're good.
Oh no, you guys were just both still for a second.
You're
Okay.
fine.
But yeah, Assassin's Creed never stuck with me, the parkour play and stuff. But yeah, I guess if people want it, then that's good. But yeah, I was just listing off some of like the big splashes at the C3. Spotters, by the way, said the headphone donation. That's what he was talking about for the Take My Money.
Yes.
So.
Next time you get a chance to check on Twitter, I decided to try to. I made a call to some high-powered people. I hit up Dr. Pepper and I pleaded with them to sponsor you. So we're gonna see if we get a response back by the end of the episode.
All right, hang on. I just gotta get this on camera in case they join.
Yeah. Duct tape it to your shoulder.
Oh, dude, I don't have tape. I used to have tape. All right, maybe I could just try to balance it on my head. No, okay, it's not gonna work. I'm trying too hard. So, nope. Not trying quite hard enough. Here we go.
Don't do it.
Oh God. There you go.
See, this is what they could be buying into.
All right. You can't even see it. Okay. A lot of work for nothing. All right. I think we probably have enough time for a question segment then.
Sure. Whose turn is it this time?
I actually wrote down a question like someone suggested last podcast right above the beautiful Dr. Pepper. Notice it's empty because I drank the whole thing. Right above that, it's actually almost pointing to the question.
That's a handsome Dr. Pepper.
That's a very handsome Dr. Pepper. I don't know why you guys are all here. I should just have the Dr. Pepper be the guests. Anyway.
Just call this the Dr. Pepper cast.
Right, there you go. That works. I have the what game were you most disappointed in? That's my question.
Like all time?
Of all time. It's a big one.
Of all time.
Right. Not necessarily what game is the worst game, but just game that you expected so much better from.
Skyward Sword? Probably.
Was your dreams crushed with that one?
I did not. Skyward Sword is the only Zelda game I have not finished, and I really just don't care that I didn't finish it. I was just so utterly turned off by its small scope and the frustrating motion controls, and I just was like, I got better things to do, like, eat or laundry. So I just never finished Skyward Sword.
And someone made a good point about the motion controls. So there seems to be like a lot of times people would say, I don't like the motion controls, and someone would reply, I didn't have any trouble with them. But someone made a good point. He said, okay, so let's just say it's half and half. Half had trouble with it, half didn't. That's still 50% of the people who play your game who had so much trouble with motion controls and stuff, and that's obviously not a good sign. So it's like, even if the controls worked for you specifically, it's not good that it didn't work for so many other people. So it's like, just something interesting I wanted to bring up.
I get the appeal of like, oh, we have a motion controlled console. We have to do something with the sword because it's Zelda. Like, it's just, I remember there was a puzzle where you had to put the Master Sword into a keyhole, and
Oh no.
you had to turn your wrist until everything lined up. And I remember I did it for at least like 5 minutes because it wasn't as one-to-one as the Motion Sensor Plus claimed it was, and I did this. I was like, I'm not having fun. I don't know. It was a bummer. I really wanted to like the game more, and like it's funny, like in playing Breath of the Wild, just like seeing what a Zelda game can be when it's big and when the controls are just set and defined and they work.
Right.
It's just like I have even less incentive to ever go back and play Skyward Sword.
I gotcha. That's understandable.
So that's my entry.
Mm-hmm.
It's also important to note with the motion, basically the motion aiming for Breath of the Wild. If you're using the Joy-Cons, it's the right Joy-Con that has all the motion in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually had to do a little bit of an experiment on that, and it's the Joy-Con that controls the motion.
So what motion control specific things does Breath of the Wild do? I have it on the Wii U. So
there's some puzzles that utilize using rotating the controller to like
Dab.
I didn't dab.
It looked like Tom dabbed for a second.
I didn't intend to.
Yeah, there's like some puzzles that basically use the gyroscope to move a piece of a platform into place, or like aiming with your bow or looking around. Like that stuff is basically all that's there for the motion controls. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think gyroscope. You said gyroscope aiming, right?
Yeah, gyroscope aiming.
Yeah. I think that's like a great addition to every game. I feel like it just works so well, and I wish more games utilize that. But at least the option to use it would be great, I think.
Yeah.
But what about you, Jacob? You got a game that you were just extremely disappointed in all levels.
The only one that comes to mind is the original Assassin's Creed. I just wasn't feeling it at all.
Gotcha. That's exactly what I felt when I played it too. I didn't expect myself to like it though.
I rented it from Netflix back in the day, and I just couldn't finish it. Nope. I don't know what it was. It just gameplay wasn't drawing me into it like it drew in a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really where they figured it out.
I guess, but it didn't hold me to enough to keep going with the series.
Oh, okay. If you ever are, pressed enough to try, 2 is worth it.
All right, I'll try to keep that in mind then. Okay. From what I heard, Black Flag's amazing because of all the sea combat.
The best. So fun.
So I may actually have to go with playing Assassin's Creed 4 if I decide to do another Assassin's Creed game.
Okay. I cannot argue that logic.
Nice. Yeah, Assassin's Creed didn't hold it for me either. I didn't actually buy it though. I just played it off of friends, and I tried a lot. I like the graphics and stuff, and it's pretty cool that you could just like jump off buildings and do this parkour stuff. I'm just the quick time events and the dialogue and a little bit slower paced kind of threw me off. I'm not sure which version I played. It might have been the first one also, but I think it was the first one actually. I didn't have like a subtitle. I think it was just Assassin's Creed. So yeah, it didn't hold me over. Also, I wasn't extremely disappointed though. I didn't expect myself to like it. It's not really my type of game, but one that I was particularly disappointed in, and we were just talking about it before this start. Like the instant this started, we're talking about it. EA's Battlefront for sure. Just major disappointment.
Yeah.
Huge disappointment. Especially because you get to see what it could have been with the Star Wars Battlefront 3 trailer, doggone it, and then they give us that, and which just felt inferior to Star Wars Battlefront 2 in every single way. And they took out everything that I loved about Battlefront 2, which is the massive battles and the different classes and the vast majority of maps and stuff. Even the space combat I absolutely loved in Battlefront 2, which not a ton of people do, but I love the galactic conquest.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hopping onto enemy ships and taking them over from the inside out.
Right?
So,
that is insane. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even get a sliver of that in the EA Battlefront. I hated the vehicle and Jedi system so much, how you have to just find a random token and hopefully it's your turn. There's a lot less vehicle inclusion overall, while before you could just get inside a ship, fly to the other side of the map, and get out. You can't do that anymore for whatever reason. You have to find the stupid token that drives me crazy. And then there's like a limited amount of game modes. There's not that usual, capture point and then spawn there kind of deal, which I think is a great way of doing it. And I'm so disappointed. I'm just so disappointed in that game.
I have nothing else to add. All of that is fact, and it's a bummer.
It's a huge. I technically never even played the full game. I played it on beta.
What full game?
Right, exactly.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's never even going to be full because they keep adding all this like DLC, and it's like $100 just to even buy the full game, the quote unquote full game. So it's for like 5 maps or something. While Battlefront 2, I keep pointing over here because it's over there on my shelf. You get so many maps, and like I said earlier, the large scale battles, 16 versus 16 is cool. But Battlefront 2 had 32 versus 32. That's not a joke.
Nope.
You could play matches with 31 other players on your team against 32 players, which is a huge...
EA's Battlefront, Hoth, like one version of Hoth, Tatooine Canyons or whatever, Sullust, Endor... What was the 5th map? Someone tell me what the 5th map was, because,
Wasn't there like a new map, like a map from the new planet?
Oh, Jakku.
Jakku, yeah.
So, wow. I think, I think each of them, or one or two, I think Tatooine had like an alternate, like Tatooine, but a different part of Tatooine.
Yeah.
It's like...
Okay, so funny thing about Battlefront 2 and Battlefront 1, each map, or each planet pretty much had two alternates.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's so good. How could they go so wrong with such good hardware and stuff? Can you imagine how much more they could have capitalized on Battlefront 2 with this with modern tech and stuff? The one thing I give Battlefront by EA's to credit, the one thing I give credit for is the sound design as well as the graphics. I mean, they are extremely good graphics.
They put all the work into that. They put all the work into that, seriously.
100% of the work went into that so that you could see footprints in snow. That's pretty much it. And then also, of course, the sound design is so good, and you do feel like you're inside of a Star Wars movie. That's a great feeling, but my word, did they go so far off with the things I enjoyed about Battlefront 2. So that's why I'm really disappointed. I don't want to stay on this too long because we have other questions, but to real quick respond to Spotters, I love aerial combat games, so ergo I love Battlefront 2. Yeah, Battlefront 2 is crazy. Spotters, you and I, we got to play some Battlefront 2 sometime, man. I should just host a giant Battlefront 2 party and invite everyone I know.
I saw there was a Star Wars Humble Bundle. So Battlefront 2 is currently for sale on Steam. Is that correct?
Probably. It's on sale all the time.
I'm checking right now.
You mentioned playing Battlefront 2. Where is it available that online servers are still enabled for it?
Only on PC, and you have to use third-party servers. There's the service called Game Ranger. They allow you to they host servers for all sorts of FPS games, including Battlefront 2, and that's pretty much the only way you can play it online right now, other than LAN. But
I'm really interested in getting, because I have an original Xbox copy of the game, but I haven't. Obviously, those servers are long dead. Right. So I'll talk to you about that.
You got to get it on there too, because it's honestly at this point its base price is practically $2 because it's so.
It is currently on sale for $250.
You gotta on Steam?
Man. Yeah, right now. It's great.
Okay, but Steam doesn't there's no Steam's okay. Right. So buy on Steam, then use
Yeah, then you use a third party thing. Okay, here's another thing. Oh, I really don't want to go too long into this because I actually really want to make a video about this. But around the time when LucasArts went down and EA bought all their assets and stuff, it was right around that time when EA put Battlefront on sale, dirt cheap, along with other Star Wars games, and the servers that ran on it. After the sale was over, they said, by the way, we're shutting down these servers. Right after the sale was over. The day after. And that just made people so upset. I know. It's absolute garbage. And then, lo and behold, 2 years later, they announced they're making a new Battlefront game. It was like clockwork. They immediately all right, let's sell as much of this as we can before we announce that we're going to cut off the servers so that we can start working on the next Battlefront game. They cut off the servers, started working on the next Battlefront game. The next Battlefront game is nowhere near as good as the old Battlefront game, and I am eternally upset of EA's actions, and I can't respect them as a company the slightest bit, and it drives me crazy. But there you have it. Okay. Like I said, I wanted to save all that for a video, but I'm so frustrated about that. Anyway, Mr. ViperFang or Tom Peeler, do either of you guys have like a question that you have prepared, perhaps?
Since it was the E3 edition, I didn't get a question prepared.
Okay. Tom, you got one? If you say yes now, I'm not sure if I'll believe you. Getting your total thinking face on. I mean, it's okay if you don't.
Okay.
We're past time.
I want each of you, and I'll think of mine. I want you to predict an HD remake that will be announced at next year's E3. Since we had Shadow of the Colossus this year, since we had so basically, what nostalgia mining opportunity will one of the major game studios use next year in the form of an HD remake?
Beyond Good and Evil HD.
That actually kind of seems like that's highly likely with the sequel coming out.
Yes.
I just realized Minecraft technically has an HD remake too. You guys add in like 4K or whatever.
It technically has a 4K remake. Look at all this beautiful 4K.
Yay! Now you can
blocks.
Now you can pay money for graphics that you only think look better, even though you could have just done that for free on PC
on
anyway,
the PC.
So, yeah. Anyway, also
all
the
these
whole
4K graphics.
paid mod things that's
PC.
been going on at E3 is really annoying too.
And Bethesda.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway,
although Wolfenstein 2 looks amazing.
Yeah, but we're getting off topic. As for HD remakes, I'm not very good at predicting. I think mine is a little bit more of a want. Like, I kind of want a remake of this. I'm not sure if it would actually happen, especially not next E3, but I would love a Skyward Sword HD remake, of course.
Yes.
With the normal Switch controls and
I play that.
same art style. I think the art style is important because the art style of it was so good. But just, HD graphics. Even if just doing what they did with Twilight Princess, I'd be happy just because the graphics of Skyward Sword was already so charming. So even just like the small amount of work they did for Twilight Princess, well, not small amount, but you know what I mean. Just like resolutions with textures and whatnot, making the textures look a lot nicer. I don't need like big old Wind Waker remake. I'd be content with just a nice Skyward Sword HD remake. I would enjoy that. Okay.
I will stake claim that this is wishful thinking as well.
Okay.
And it ties into something we were talking about in the pre-show. I will hope that we will get a Time Splitters HD collection released, announced next E3.
That'd be outstanding.
So I can actually dip my toe and do. I've only played parts of 2, so.
Right. Okay, wait. By the way, I feel like I should mention this on the podcast for anyone who's watching. If you guys like Time Splitters, there's currently a group of fans remaking a Time Splitters game. I should have mentioned this earlier, called Time Splitters Rewind. Have you guys heard of it?
I have not.
Really cool.
Okay, definitely look it up because they're people who have been working on this for a long time, and it's kind of like they're remaking maps and stuff. It's going to be free and online. They have to make it free because that's the only way they can have permission to use the IP. The developers actually know about them, and they've given them the go. So there's likely not going to be any
very good.
IP problems unless it's with a bigger developer, or something like that. You never know. Something could always happen. But basically, they're going to make online servers and stuff. It's all done out of their own pockets and stuff. It's a crazy awesome thing. It's Time Splitters Rewind, and there you go. Viper, Jacob put a link to the website.
I put it in the chat.
Nice. It looks awesome. IGN even showed a trailer for it, or as a teaser. There's like no footage of it being out yet, but basically it's been worked on for so long, and they're still getting frequent updates. So definitely, you guys should check that out. I'm definitely keeping a close eye on it. So anyway, back to you, Tom, for Time Splitters and stuff.
That's just my call.
Okay.
We're going to get an HD remake of the Time Splitters series announced by someone at E3 next year.
Okay, awesome.
And I've already stated Beyond Good and Evil remake, or HD remake.
All right. Well, I believe that concludes our question segment then. We are a little... Actually, We're about an hour and 30 minutes in because there's like 10 minutes of music time or something. But
Yeah.
thank you guys all so much for watching. This was an exciting podcast because it was the first E3 Soda Popcast. Hopefully there will be a lot more to come. Make sure you guys tune in on, let me get my calendar, on July 28th for the next Soda Popcast episode 5. Hey, that is the same day Hey Pikmin is coming out, I just realized.
Hey, Pikmin!
I might try to get that before so that I could talk about it on stream because I love Pikmin. Anyway, yeah, so make sure you check it out. It's going to be at the same time, 10 p.m. Pacific time zone, 1 a.m. Eastern. And, of course, if you guys can't make that podcast or you can't make it future podcasts or anything like that, these will always be over on PatNet 2 a week after they go live. So you can always check it out there. Also, you can follow me on Twitter if you'd like to get updates about this sort of thing. But who knows? You might not even care. Who knows? But you should because it's a lot of fun. Tom cares. There you go. Take Tom's word for it. So I'm about ready to sign off then. If you guys want to do some outros, plug in some stuff. I know I've got something special I got to plug at the end. But yeah. Tom, you got some final words for us?
Yeah, you can find me every day at SycamoreStreetStudios.com, on Twitter at Sycamore Street Studios, and on the Sycamore Street Studios YouTube channel. We are currently finishing up post-production on our latest film, Devil Woman, a horror comedy, and I'm going to be working on the next episode of our cutscene analysis show, Mise en Game. I played Breath of the Wild for the last 2 months, almost done with it, and I'm going to be talking about the limited but unique delivery of cutscenes within Breath of the Wild, so stay tuned for that.
I've beaten Breath of the Wild, and I loved it.
I'm loving every minute of it, so I'm really excited. Like, I'm on the last of the 4 divine beasts I have to get. So yeah.
All right, Jacob, what do you got for us?
As always, I'm on YouTube and VidMe. Just search MrViperFang and you'll see me pop up. If you want to see me, want to see a video of me eating a banana without unpeeling it, go on ahead. It's there.
It's captivating.
Yeah. I've also started up my Oracle of Ages Let's Play.
Mm-hmm.
I put a poll on Twitter between red and blue won, so Ages it is. And I've also got a couple of small games going to be doing those over the next few weeks. Jungle Book is currently going up, and after that, it's going to be another Sega Genesis game.
All right.
Nice. Very cool.
All right. Well, like I said, I am PatNet. I have a channel called PatNet. I have another channel called PatNet 2, and I have a Minecraft channel called K-Core. If you want to check out either of those because you're interested in that kind of content, then you could go ahead. Also, big special, no, not that special. A big announcement though for my main channel. I will be having a brand new main channel video coming out tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time zone.
Yeah.
This is kind of big for me because I have not had a main channel video in so long. It's been about a year now. So I'm really excited to finally have something to show you guys. I would check it out if I were you. And then, of course, you can always follow me on Twitter at PatNat7, I think. Oh, gosh, I really need to get that updated. Yeah, PatNat7 if you want to get updates on different things like that. And that's all I got for you guys, so.
Oh, yeah, I'm also on Twitter as MrViperFang, so follow me there.
And then Tom's Sycamore...
Sycamore Street Studios. Just search the full name, you'll find it.
Okay, I couldn't tell. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. So long.
Peace out, everybody.
Later.